Group C, the final match, Czechia against Bulgaria. So the two teams are now gonna figure out who takes third place in the group and who ends up being fourth. Neither of them has won a map yet. And I want to give both of the teams immediately a shout out. These are mostly amateur players that said, hey, we don't care that we go up against some big names that have tons more experience than we do. We still want to participate, we want to represent our country, and we want to have some fun. And all of them have been pretty amazing. Same with all of the other teams and underdogs that played in the other groups. So these guys just lost 0-2 to Spain, and they've been just chatting in lobby how much fun they had playing against Spain, how it was super entertaining for them, and how they had a great experience. And this is what all of these tournaments are all about. So there's no salt or anything here. Everybody that had a tough time and got destroyed by some of the top players that we have in the Heroes of the Storm scene right now just said afterwards that they really enjoyed participating and had some fun being in this environment. So for me to hear that is awesome, and I'm really happy that everybody is enjoying all of this so far. Again, this is the first group stage that we have. There is another one coming up after this. Currently we have 16 teams split up into 4 groups of 4, and only the 2 top teams, the 2 first places out of the group advance, and then we have 8 teams that play a full round robin against each other to determine finally which 4 teams will make it to the offline event in Berlin at the 10th and 11th of June. And then in addition to that, we're going to get 1 team from North America and 1 team from Asia. So, as we're heading into this, we got the Czech team. I'm going to try to keep the Czech jokes in mind, as long as they're not face-checking any bushes. But yeah, so we got both of the globals banned out. So it's Dragonshire, Dehaka banned, Falstad banned. Could still go for Urel at the top lane, Blaze at the top lane, Rex at the top lane. I love, by the way, that Varian gets banned against the Bulgarian team. You can really tell that the Czech players have been watching the games, and they've realized that this is one of the standard strategies that Bulgaria has been using in previous games. So they're just saying like, yeah, we're going to eliminate Varian. You're not going to play that sniper comps against us. But we get Brightwing. So Brightwing is in. And what's going to be our double pick for the Czech team? What are they going to do? I actually expected them to come in with a bit more of a plan and immediately come with a double pick, but instead we're getting a lot of hesitation, so I just hope that they selected the heroes already earlier and are just now waiting it out. Alright, so it's Holger on the top lane and the mouse on Lucio. I have no idea why that nickname amuses me so much, but it is very, very funny. I don't know why he has the Warcraft 3 tag in front of that. I mean, unfortunately, that game has been successfully ruined. Well, not quite. I mean, again, still around, still has tournaments as well. But I'm just very salty how they screwed up Reforged. Refunded. Vala and Diablo. Okay, Little Red Riding Hood is in the game. Arrow builds, all attack builds, solo support, double support. What are we gonna get? A little bit of Medivh support to keep her alive. Time will tell. For now, we got the bans coming in. And I'm really curious about the series because I have no idea who's going to win this. If I would have to take a guess, I actually don't know. We had some good plays from both teams depending on what kind of composition they got, depending on what kind of opponent they went up against. So I honestly have no idea who I would favor in this particular series now. So yeah, let's see. Genji gets banned. And on top of that, our final ban in game number 1 of the best of 3. What are you gonna get rid of against them? Probably target one of their last 2, either Snowbee or Doki, with a target ban. They go for Deathwing on Dragonshire. Still no side laner for the red team. That's actually one of the weirdest things to me. Arthas! Arthas is in the house. Okay. Arthas main tank. And Orphea! Look at that. We're getting Orphea Arthas in game number 1. Somebody seems to have a lot of confidence. Preference picks, if anything. Not usually a main tank that you see played at all outside of Meta Madness, and especially not in game number 1. Double pick though for the red team to round this one out. They need their side laner. Still don't have it. Bit more damage would also be nice, unless they go for a double support. It's Leo for the side lane and Junkrat for the second damage dealer. Alrighty. And Phoenix. Okay, bit of an unexpected draft from Czechia, but Dragonshire is our first map, so let's not waste any more time and let's jump straight into the first game of the best of 3 series here at Group C of the European Nations Cup qualifier.
Prepare for combat.
Czechia against Bulgaria, game number 1. We are on Dragonshire, and on the left, in the flesh, Arthurs. Doki on Phoenix, Kuba on Ophia. We got Snowbee on Hogger, and Mouse on Lucio. What is a Snowbee, by the way? Does that exist? Is that actually a thing? I know about honeybees, I know about wood bees, but is a Snowbee a thing? Because I've never heard of one. So, Wardred is playing Diablo for Bulgaria. We got Great Shaman on Vala, Hots Jesus on Brightwing. We have Alexander on Leoric and Nikki God on Junkrat. And Vala hasn't made a decision yet. So, arrow build, multi-shot, auto-attack. It is auto-attack. Now, this is a little bit of a different situation for Vala. So, if she dies here, it's not that big of a deal. So there's 2 different cases of how you can play an auto-attack style for Vala. You can either play her as a hyper carry, aka you have normally 2 supports that try and keep her alive and she's your only real main damage. Then it's a big deal when she dies. You really don't want her to die. You want to make sure that you keep her alive as much as possible because she really needs to carry the game. If you play her with an auto-attack style but you have another damage dealer in the same team, then he can compensate for Vala losing out on some of their damage. So obviously you still want to maintain those gambit stacks that you get with level 1 and the attack speed, but if you die once or twice, it's not really that big of a problem. So we'll see how he can play this one out. If you of course end up in a situation where you can still make sure that you do not die and have the second damage dealer, then you have even more damage output than you would otherwise have. And yeah, stacking is also important, but you can play it a little bit more easily and laid back when you are having a second damage dealer at your side that you can rely upon. Leo, by the way, is about to get killed here. Ooh, nearly got. Ophia, the coffin girl, is coming in, so the schoolgirl is in the house on the Cloud 9 mount. And, well, with that, we now have down at the bottom of the map another engage from Arthurs. Diablo's immediately moving out and is juking around, so I like that. Well, juke pretty nicely here. Camp at the top right has already been taken, but now they're trying to claim their own with Phoenix and Hogger working together. And Ophia goes down. Well done by Junkrat. Nicely isolated, and they are trying to go for a second kill. Lucio gets attacked. Didn't get the kill quite there this time, but Bulgaria starts this off with first blood. So, job well done. Pushing through the bottom, now also with the Death Dealer in the hands of Vala. Arthurs has continued with the Death Lord. And let's see how much more they can get. Up at the top. That's not a kill yet. And, well, Phoenix is trying to deal with the camp, but now Leo will likely need some assistance. But this bot lane play still continues. So everybody's just getting busy on the lanes, trying to get a bit of control over the shrines. Maybe an early Dragon Knight if they can. But it's all about locking the opponent down, starting in with the flank, top side, they're going for Hogger, so he has to be careful. But now it's a double control, and there's nobody in the middle, but whew, Hogger has to be super careful here. Now, with Phoenix mid lane, he can deny any attempt at a channel on the Dragon Knight, but it seems that the blue team is still struggling to gain control at the bottom of the map. And the harder they have to push into this, and the more they have to expose themselves to the opponent's damage, the easier it gets for Vala to get stacks together. So the rotation of Phoenix makes a whole lot of sense. Oh, but nice stuns! Beautiful follow-ups! He didn't stand a chance there! Phoenix got totally murdered in that encounter. Hogger has at least retaken the top lane, but damn. Vala getting some free stacking, Brightwing just jumping all over the map in an attempt to help everybody out. And thanks to the 2 kills to 0, they can now pressure the bot lane again and take the sidewall out, the tower down, the gate is gone. Damn, they're getting value. That kill plus forcing them to retreat was great. Early level 7, burning the waves down. They are looking very, very strong here early on. Now, no experience lead or anything like that, but still, this is pretty spicy. Especially with Vala continuing to stack. So she's soon going to get her first quest reward here. And she just got it. And still alive. Still hasn't fallen. Brightwing is threatening the objective in the middle of the map, which means that Orphea has to stay here. And that puts additional pressure on everyone else. So they're rotating into the middle now, giving up the bot lane, which would allow them to push in for the fort and trying to double up topside so that they can get at least one of those shrines, which is what they're doing now. So one of the shrines taken, and the time has been used by the red team to go for the siege giant camp. Not bad. Not bad, I gotta say. 50 stacks for Vala. Again, her damage should be pretty okay. Nothing too crazy yet, but she's sitting at 11,000, which is not shabby. So yeah, gets a few more shots in. Gets also a freebie here, and Lucio keeps the hot pursuit, stacks up as best as possible. And with Hogger now pushing in the middle and the siege giants at the bottom, if they can escort this in, that would be pretty nice. Blue team pausing the game. Not sure if they're having any disconnect issues, but it doesn't seem like it. So probably just some kind of... I mean, again, it's either it's your mom ringing or it is communication. That's usually what happens. Maybe a mouse crapped out or something. Battery running empty, something like that. Or if you're still with your parents, yeah. Back in the day, it was always like, guys, I have lag. And it was usually always the same thing. You had to go over and smack your little brother around because he was downloading porn. Those days are long gone, though. Connections have improved. And who the hell downloads porn these days? But, yeah, you were really in trouble if it was your bigger brother, because then he would slap you around. But, yeah, back in the day, that was actually a thing. And that was actually a while ago, damn. But yeah, modems. It was actually so funny when I went to Korea for the first time, because it was just like living there was an eye-opener when it came to internet connections and speed. And then you went back to the West, and the internet was very new for the Germans. So we only had very slow connections. And the Americans, they weren't very much better. But over there in Korea, they already had 1,000 megabyte ups and downs. And they were like, yeah, this is too slow. We need to improve this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So, yeah. Either way, a little bit of a side tangent here. So I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on, but currently with the 2 kills to 0, the red team looks good. They don't have a big lead in experience. There's nothing too crazy happening. Vala hasn't died. She's at 54 stacks. It's a solid start. Dibbles is, as you can tell, hit the 5-minute mark now, fully stacked. And their job is to pretty much push for the fort yet. They have this one advantage, and that's the siege giants. Topside, Leo had to yield, and now Phoenix can push in. The only thing that the players at the bottom of the map have to be careful about is that eventually, I would assume, Hogger is going to rotate down and try to flank in and do some damage there. So he's already on the way. They have to attempt to stop this, and the siege giants would allow them to go straight up for the camp. But yeah, Vala gets some easy hits in here, I'd assume. And now that it's a 4 versus 4, you get those siege giant quite easily. This is why I would have liked them to go for the fort earlier, as the blue team rotated away, not for the siege giants. It gives them a bit of experience, but it didn't give them too much else, so that camp was very quickly defeated. And Leo is now rotating between the lanes, but that means that he's leaving the top lane alone and allows Phoenix to get a lot of damage in. So initially they had a big lead here, but now they are giving the macro over to the blue team without any real reason at all. And that is resulting in Czechia taking early level 10, and they can change the flow of the game completely right now. Vala is still stacking, more and more hits together, more and more damage coming in, but now that level 10 has kicked in for the blue team, they have to be a bit careful. It's not a big gap, it's a small window, but you still don't want to give the opponent an opportunity to exploit that. So, what do we get? We're level 10, we got the Lightning Breath, no surprises here. Entomb for Leo, of course. Vala with a stun goes for the Rain of Vengeance. And yeah, here we go. We got up at the top, a little bit of a ping pong play being made. And there we are. Camp pushing for the top side. Leo is going to lose that fort. If nobody helps him, Leo's going to lose that one. We got Syndragosa, 4 Arthurs. So, yeah, Captain Hitsugai would be proud. We're going to get an Ice Dragon into the game. And Vala is starting to murder with the help of Diablo. They're burning Orphea, and now Arthas is dead too. Hogga is realizing he's a little bit outmatched and is spinning his way out of the battle, but that was a very quick double kill against them. And they are, again, going for that camp and also for the fort at the same time. So they should really try to get this fort destroyed now. I mean, there's still 2 defenders, but Leo is suffering a lot of losses up at the top, and the continuous rotation of Phoenix and Hogga is giving him quite some trouble, so they need to compensate somewhere. And the best way to do that is by taking the bot lane structures out, and they should do exactly that. Vala is now at 22,000 damage, easily top damage in the game. Coming in from the side. Oh, there's the salvo. Vala trying to get away. She's slowed. Junkrat is dead. Diablo is gonna fall. Vala made it out at least. But I would still say that whenever they are getting these kills, the Bulgarian team is just not capitalizing on their advantages enough. They should have gone for the fort right away, maybe get that camp afterwards, but instead they gave the opponent a lot of time to come back. Now we had a double control on the shrine, and that resulted in a Dragon Knight for Czechia. So they're able to come through the middle and potentially take a fort down here. So all of a sudden the entire flow of the game flips again. We have level 13 on the board for the blue team. They have an extra talent, and they will destroy structures here. So the fort in the middle doesn't stand a chance. This one is easily taken out, and they could also drop the one at the top. Dragon Knight is moving down to the bottom of the map to deal with that. Everybody else is still in the middle, trying to do damage here and pin down some of the forces of the red team. But the Bulgarians defending as best as they can. Vala getting some free stacking against the Dragon Knight. Brightwing is helping out too, so that's 2 quest stacks completed with 100 stacks that she has now. She will dish out massive amount of damage as the game continues, because if they can't kill her, that added attack speed together with Manticore on level 16 is really gonna hurt. Arthas in particular, if she gets close enough. But there, Leo down at the top once again. They're losing ground. They're really losing ground right now. Yeah, Doki attacked. Phoenix. Ooh, yes, that's a burn. And Vala gets killed first. Vala loses one of the Gambit stacks. First death that she suffers. And with Syndergosa, the keep is completely out of commission for now, so they can chase past it without any trouble. At least they're trying. Keep is back up in a moment, but Diablo, the salvo, doesn't take him down, but I think Hogga will. Yep, Hogga takes him down. Poor Diablo. Every single time it looks like he can escape, somebody else is moving in. First, he has the first ult put on him, then all of a sudden it's a salvo that he has to withstand. He does that, then Hogga comes and he's like, can I get a break here? And yeah, not really. So, as is, we now have 5 kills to 4. Czechia has not only caught up, but they've taken the lead. And as you can tell, they are closing in on level 16 talents. So yeah, the game is completely flipped. It was Bulgaria that executed most of the pressure plays. Now they've lost every single fort that they've been holding, and they are 1.5 levels behind. Yeah, that was a bit rough. Now, damage numbers, we're going to take another look at that. 36,000 for Junkrat, 26,000 for Phoenix. But they have so much control over this now. And just imagine how difficult it's going to be for Bulgaria to push out of this without level 16 talents and get another Dragon Knight. That's a real issue, because there's no fountain. Can't tap off mana, can't tap off hit points. So that's another big problem. But let's see. Maybe they even go for the super quick DK here. Arthas is already setting up. What is the red team going to do? Are they just going to allow this? Are they going to try and play a bit of a ring around Rosie game where they don't have level 16? But since nobody's moving in the middle, Arthas should just take this right now. And, well, it's Orphea instead, and she is going to grab it. Any action at the top is too late. Yeah, Vala was trying to interrupt it as they're making a play for topside Hogga. And he's not even gonna die, is he? Nope, he makes it out of the fight, still alive. And that is a play for bot lane. And I talked about this on Towers of Doom earlier, but I want to highlight it again. The reason that they're going for the bot lane is because this is the most important lane on Dragonshire, and again, it's the number of camps that push through this. You have 2 Siege Giant camps and 1 Bruiser camp that push through the bottom of the map, and therefore you can set up very, very heavy pressure plays without the objective here. So that's the reason why they're going for the bot lane first, because once you have map control later, you can get all of these camps, push them against the opponent's core, and try to win the game that way. So, or simply try and take a camp and then focus on another objective on the map. So this is one of the reasons why they're aiming for the keep here first. And they should really take it down. I really don't care if they're losing a hero or not, but take that keep down, and there it is. So they lose off here. Vala gets to 150 stacks, and they have level 16 now, so Manticore is in, and since she only died once, that is a lot of damage. But we also have a top pressure, thanks to the camp that was taken earlier. Hogger down, Diablo down, and Phoenix dies too. Vala is still chasing it. But top side, yep, it seems that we might even see another tower fall. Vala is now at 180 stacks, and she's died only once, meaning she's sitting at 20% additional attack speed. She has Manticore, 40,000 damage for her. She is becoming a real problem for Arthas and also for Hogger. So they're taking the fort, but how much more can they do? They're still 1.5 levels behind. Still 1.5 levels behind the blue team. Yeah. Yeah, this is getting problematic considering that level 20 is going to be another huge power spike and will likely occur around the time that the objective is up. So, with one more Dragonite, if played correctly, it could end in a victory for Czechia. Diablo pushing out of the fight. Yep, half a level until 20, 30 seconds until the shrine spawn. Haven't killed Vala a whole lot, so if they can remove some of her attack speed, that would be great for them. Bulgaria, though, trying to fight back wherever they can. Any kill that they can claim at this point would be a win for them. But yeah, both of the camps taken from Bulgaria, so that relieved some pressure from the bottom of the map that they now got. Yeah, and well, here we go. They go for Arthas. Lucio is too late. Arthas is dead. They burned every ult they had to get that kill. Now we have level 20 for Czechia, but they have to wait an entire minute for Arthas to be back. Also, one of the problems, of course, when you're going into Sindragosa, it helped them with some of the plays that they were trying to make, but at the same time, it also cost them a little bit since he lacks survivability. And Leo needs to get the hell out of there. Because, yeah, well, he's dead. So Leoric is dead. Didn't even have to sacrifice the ult, honestly. But this means that they are at least controlling one of the thingies, one of the shrines. And of course, in addition to that, we now have some bot lane pressure, since they just said, alright, if you're gonna do this, then we will at least get some damage done over here. But with Arthas back to business, it's more so a question of whether or not they can still make a play for the objective. Absolute Zero is coming in as the level 20 for Arthas. Okay, fair enough. Going all out on this one. And of course now they're trying to just use mobility and some circular play. Well, actually they're not going for the top. Okay. Diablo is going in deep for this one. Brightwing takes over at the top. I really thought that they would try and lock him down. I thought he would get punished for this. But yeah, Brightwing was just claiming the top in time. And now we have level 20 that gives us the Farflight Quiver. Vala has an even easier time to get the damage out. She might become a problem. I mean, yes, they took one keep, but she might really become a problem. Arthas gets attacked again, gets pooped out, stunned again. Entomb, not quite perfect. Well, there they go. Salvo and Junkrat and Vala both explode right at the beginning of the fight. That's all of your damage gone on the side of the Bulgarians. And now they should really, really go for a game. Diablo is dead. It's a full 5-man wipe. 5-man team wipe. Dibbles at least is back because he was fully stacked on souls, but now it's a Dragonite that they gotta deal with, and this should conclude game number 1. It would be a bit of a miracle if they can somehow survive here. At the bottom of the map, we already have them moving in towards the core. As you can tell, I mean, this has to be lights out. 12 kills to 8. Good damage, nicely done. 52,000 of Phoenix now, and they're already working on that shield before the Dragon Knight is even making an appearance. Czechia starting this off with a victory, as it seems. So, yeah, nicely done. Good job for them. Diablo's dead again, so once more a full 5-man wipe. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the lead for the blue team in this last best of 3 of Group C at the Nations Cup qualifier.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Garden of Terror, game number 2. We've been here before. The draft crashed on us. One of the guys disconnected, so don't be surprised if the picks and bans, at least the initial ones, are happening a little bit faster here. Czechia with the lead, and they chose the map as Bulgaria opted for first pick, first ban. And since this is a big map, I am curious to see what happens around globals and also around some of the specialists that we could get here. Specialists in the sense of Nazebo, late game, Ragnaros with maybe Lava Wave, Falstad, Dehaka, Abatha, like all of these picks that you could get here. God of Terror is usually a map where you either try to play the size of the map or the mercenary camps, try to control those, or just go for team fights and victories. That's also why it doesn't surprise that we have variant banned out again, because Bulgaria has shown in multiple of their games that they really like to play these variant compositions and had a lot of success with that, so hence the ban. But yeah, so we're getting very quickly through the first one. Jojo picked here immediately. On the other side, Rhaegar Urel is going to kick in now. And I like that because Rhaegar speeds up your minion clear and also the mercenary clear quite easily. You have Urel for that too. But together with that, I want to see what else they can bring. Light Bomb engage with Genji. So Anduin Genji, always a strong comp. And this is roughly where the drop happened earlier, so I think here Muradin is going to get the axe, and then afterwards the teams have to see where they're headed. But it's a pretty fun one thus far. Czechia had the mid and the late game in game number 1, but in the beginning it was Bulgaria that dominated most of this. So yeah, quite curious to see what they're now going to do. Tychus, okay, and there they are, the Vikings. Nice, there's our X-Factor pick. That's what I was waiting for. Can they pull off the Vikings game? Yes or no? That's the question. The mouse with the Vikings. And can Bulgaria deal with it? That's of course the other question. It's not only a matter of do you have somebody that can play Vikings, it's a question of can your opponent properly play against them? Do they know what to do? And yeah, there is still some globals up. Falstad, I think, is still available. Keep in mind, you can only play heroes that haven't been played yet. Ooh, and they're sieging up with Sergeant Hammer, so they're gonna try for a lot of aggression, or at least they should. Oh, that is gonna get interesting. Jojo Blaze is also a very good combo. I question that Valera pick a little bit, though. Valera, if a top team plays that to troll a little bit against a weaker opponent, I get it, but oof. Can they make her work? If they can, great. Garden of Terror, let's check it out, everybody. We have Bulgaria against Czechia. Game number 2. Blue team could end it all here and take 3rd place in the group if they win on Garden of Terror. We have Valera as the final pick for Czechia, and I gotta say, I mean, Snowby is playing her here, but they don't really have a main tank. They have Urel now as their main frontline, played by Doki, Flash on Rhaegar, the Mouse on the Vikings, and Kuba on Tychus. The Valera pick, I'm really torn. I mean, if he is able to get those kills, then alright, fair enough, but that's always a big question mark. Time will tell. We got the Great Shaman on Sergeant Hammer for Bulgaria, Wardred on Blaze, God on Genji, Jesus on Anduin, and Ansel is playing Johanna. Yeah, so they really need to rename somebody on that team into the Holy Spirit. That would be fantastic, so we're going full on that. Bring in Mohammed and we're set and good to go. Maybe we're gonna bring in a couple more religions after that too. But either way, we got the agile dismount, we got advanced artillery, and at the top already some damage being done as Valyria is going a bit on the hunt. The Vikings are of course trying to hold control of the lanes as best as they can. Ooh, and they're going for Sergeant Hammer, nearly get a kill here. But it is our boy Anduin that gets the drop on the Hammer. So yeah, it will be an interesting game. A lot hinges on two factors for me. Viking players and Valyria. How much of an impact will she have? And how good is their Viking player? How much can they do here? At the top, Snowbee. Yeah. Shitty hero, ugly skin, ugly mount. So far, he's not doing well. Goes for the camp. I mean, if camp clear is what you were looking for, then I would have suggested Greymane. But yeah, so we get the hits in over there. We already have on level 1, by the way, the combat readiness for her. And for Olaf, we get Olaf the Stout on level 1. And they are going for a kill on Johanna. They actually get it. Nice. Czechia with the first blood. They play with the Vikings, but their 3-man still nets them a kill. Job well done. And now they are applying pressure to Sergeant Hammer, who is of course suffering from a lack of mobility at this point in time. Level 7 is going to solve that to an extent. The Vikings with Eric the Swift now as well. And they are making another play of Sergeant Hammer and might even get the kill here. Tychus gets it. Hammer just sits there and says, hey, heal me. And Anduin is apparently not able to compensate for the damage that was dished out. So they go for another hit. And I don't know why Rhaegar just went and jumped in. I don't know if that was a misclick or if that was intended, but that was definitely a suicide mission. The second that he went in, that was it. So now we have topside pressure against Blaze, who's not only running out of mana, but also running out of patience, hit points, and a wall. This thing is going to get destroyed within seconds if he doesn't pay attention here, especially since the Siege Giants are allowing them to push this even further. So already they are looking good. They're taking the lead in experience. Even Mouse in the middle was nearly able to save Olaf, but he eventually died. So structurally, they're pulling ahead. Experience, they're pulling ahead. Can they maintain it? Can they in the mid and the late game maintain all of this? That's the big question here. Because this is not going to be an easy game for them, at least it shouldn't be. So seeds are spawning, and with the Vikings they have of course an enormous amount of map control, just generally speaking. Level 7 is ready for them, that will help them with the objective if they're going to make a play for it. Valyria is already saying hello up at the top, but she is not going to be able to buy enough time for the team. Is she? There's no way. Okay, Irel comes in. Valyria dies. If they can, they steal the camp. So they're sacrificing Valyria. No, they're not stealing the camp. They're trying to, but they can't. They're a little bit too late. And they have to move out. Irel is retreating. They were trying to at least get a Genji kill, but that didn't work either. So yes, they bought some times for the Vikings at the bottom of the map, but they lost Valyria and they did not get the camp. Bit rough. This could have gone really well for them, but it didn't. That's the only thing that matters. We're operating in reality here. And reality can sometimes be a bitch. So now we have camps at the top. Seeds about to be claimed. Valyria comes in. No one gets the kill on Genji. Nice. Well done. And Olaf, is he going to go at the bottom of the map now for the spin to win? Can they put pressure on that fort? Up at the top, the party continues too. I gotta say that the blue team is playing currently a lot better around the heroes that they have here than I expected them to be able to. But yes, they are a level ahead. They are putting pressure onto these lanes. I would love for Balog to be out at the bot lane at this moment in time and not Olaf, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And he could still be able to clear those waves a bit. But they are now looking for another kill, and they're likely gonna get it. The problem is they're diving too deep for this stuff. I don't really think it's worth it to dive that deep if you are up against a Genji that really wants you. So they got the seed, that's important. It's a seed for a seed right now, 1 for 1. And once again, Genji getting attacked here, but Anduin this time ready to help him out. But they are definitely playing this very, very aggressively. And that can work for you. But if you dive a bit too deep and then you get punished for it, this can also backfire quickly. Now, they have a 1.5 level lead thanks to the Viking pressure, and they are looking at level 10 abilities. So that's going to be nice to accelerate this a bit and try and just propel this forward, turn the snowball into an avalanche. We have them on level 10 with the Plague Again, Commandeer Odin, Ardent Defender, and also the Ancestral Healing. This is really the moment where they have a massive lead over the Bulgarian team and can try and extend that by claiming camps, push them on the lanes, get more pressure on the map. But it's still a wild comp, and Sergeant Hammer is of course going to get a bit momentum as the game continues. We have Genji with a light bomb engage after level 10, which could really be problematic for the bot lane heroes, for the backline heroes. But they are going again for Sergeant Hammer. And eventually they're not going to be able to get these kills there anymore. So another seed. They have to eventually win the objective. I think this is the only way for them to really get massively ahead and completely drop the hammer on the opponent's team. So if they do that, that's great. But now they got Odin in. Yeah, can push Hammer back a little bit and attack her even further. They want the first fort. They got the second seed. That's already important. But here comes level 10 for the opponent's team. Again, Urel deep and trying to get the kill on Sergeant Hammer. And there's the Blessed Shield. They ran right into that. The Ancestral is out at least, and they're putting more pressure on Sergeant Hammer. Ult on Urel hasn't been taken yet. Hammer down, but so is Genji. Urel pops her ult. The bottom fort is gone. The Vikings still getting experience. Rega with a bite. He dies for this, but he's still able to get the kill. So they're trading kills against an opponent that at the same time suffers a Viking pressure on 2 additional lanes and loses their fort. Not bad. Really not bad. But now it's seed number 3 potentially for Czechia, and I don't think they can grab this one. The position is pretty bad for them. It's at the top right, so this is more leaning towards Bulgaria. But it's a wild game. It's a really interesting one. It's definitely not what I expected for this game, so the draft became super interesting very quickly. They have level 13 talents, that gives them a lead on that account, so that's already nice. And they're pushing the bot lane out. Now catapults can be escorted in, even though it's still early in the game. If they get a kill here, light bomb! A kill here for the blue team would go a long way. Just imagine them getting the Garden Terrors now. That would wreck the Bulgarians. So 2 levels ahead nearly. Olaf still pushing that bot lane. Balog at the top, also putting more pressure on the next fort. And they are just using time off the red team here in the middle. Experience gap is gonna widen if Bulgaria cannot end this quickly. They're not. Bulgaria has no heroes on the side lanes. They have nobody there. They have a 5 versus 4 pretty much, and they just can't win it right now. Genji is trying to. He gets immediately attacked by Valera. Yeah, protected, but barely gets out, and they just have to move back here. They're buying time for the side lanes. That's worth a lot. 2-level lead. Now the fort at the top lane is going to suffer some damage. Down here, Olaf is doing his thing. The seed still hasn't been taken, and Bulgaria needs to defend. They need to defend the seed. They can't let it get into the hands of the blue team, and they're already trying to channel it, forcing the resources back again. And Anduin can't do anything here. So bot lane gets attacked. They're trying the channel. In comes the pressure from Sergeant Hammer at least. Napalm, of course, fantastic in this situation. Urel, ooh, with the ult, barely saving her. And she's still not out of harm's way. Still not out of this completely. Olaf applying more damage to the top. And, yep, that is going to be Valera escaping. Balog, more damage at the top. Olaf is down at the bottom of the map and is still escorting another one in. So they're giving the seed up, which means that the next seed is going to spawn Garden Terrors. And this is where I believe it's going to get a little dicey, because if Bulgaria gets Garden Terrors, Vikings are not going to do a whole lot for you in that situation. So this would be big if they can do that. So time will tell with the next seed spawning. Down at the bottom of the map, they have done some damage, not too much, but this is a better position now for the blue team, especially since they pushed the bot lane out this heavily already. They're trying to steal some of the camps at the top with only 2 heroes so far. Ah, actually 3, sorry, my bad. So yeah, they got 3 of them, and they're gonna claim this one. Yep, they're gonna take it. Barely, but they do. Timing works out well for them, and that means that they can now try and take the top fort. Oh, and that's a bad moment to have problems. The game is paused. Ooh, baby. Okay, so the red team pauses the game, and I think it is Blaze that is just pausing here. And he is the one that gets attacked by them now. Now, I don't think that anybody dropped out of the game, actually. Doesn't look like it, so they're going to be back in just a moment. But just to paint a picture for you, we have currently level 16. Any second now, level 16 is ready for Czechia. Then they have not only a 3-level advantage, which gives them a huge stats lead over the opponent's team, but they also have a talent advantage. If they get a kill on Blaze, which I don't think they will. Yes, Valera moves in, but if Blaze gets the bunker through, that doesn't matter. And also, we have Jojo coming in now with the Blessed Shield. So the problem that the blue team has is they are trying to get a kill, but they're all lining up here. And if Genji now comes in with damage, if we have Light Bomb connecting, Blessed Shield connecting, all of this could disappear pretty quickly. At the same time, the blue team has now pressure at the top 4 to take this one down and could really do work. But here comes the Light Bomb, engages, Valera is dead, and the Blessed Shield was used too. So I'm actually surprised that only one hero died. But yep, that's where we are. One hero died, they get level 16, but they've lost Valera. They will still claim the top fort, but the problem is the seed. And this is the issue with Valera, really. Her dying in this situation is a bit because this one's going to be important. If the blue team gets it, they are going to pull farther and farther ahead. If on the other hand we're having Bulgaria claim it, then it's a whole different ball of the game, because all of a sudden these lanes are going to be pushed out. And him surviving with 60 HP is just crazy. They're turning it on Anduin on the other hand, and he's not going to make it out of this fight. So Anduin gone changes everything, since now they don't have the sustain anymore down here. They have the bunker still available, but Genji is getting attacked. They are popping Odin. Genji is super low and likely gonna fall. The Vikings, they still get the kill. The Vikings get the kill. Now they're going for everybody else down here. Jojo is dead. Blaze pops the bunker. He will die too. And now they can get the Garden Terrors. Sergeant Hammer, the only survivor here. Well, scratch that. She's dead too. It's a 5-man team wipe. Everybody is dead. They can go for camps. They can go for the seed, which they do. Garden Terrors will come in. Siege Giants at the top. A massive, massive blow against the red team. Bulgaria is falling apart here. Absolutely falling apart at this point. The bottom keep is the first one to fall. We have a 4-level lead for the Chechen team. And they are just destroying everything. The fort in the middle is obviously gone, so you can't recover that anymore. And down here at the bottom of the map, they now have to defend the core, which means they have to pull resources away from the top lane that gets attacked. So, yeah, Blaze way too far out. Way too far out. That was a gift. That was a gift for the blue team. They are coming in and they are murdering everything. Top keep is about to fall. Bot keep is gone. Anduin is dead. Johanna is gonna follow. This has to be game. 13 kills to 5. They're destroying everything in sight. Every hero gets just killed. It's like playing whack-a-mole. See hero, kill hero. That's what happens. Top keep gone. Bot keep gone. Core is falling. Well, and that is it. Czechia will take game number 2. They win the series and they take the 3rd seed, the 3rd place in Group C of the European qualifier for the Nations Cup. Nicely done. Snowball game. Good Viking performance here also from the blue team. And that's it. GG. Well played and a deserved victory for the blue team.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.